Should we care about what others think? Should we crave validation? I think that many times in life people seek from others what they fail to give to themselves. And in saying that, I mean that a lot of people don't affirm their own identity. They wait for others to tell them who they are and ways in which they can be better. And I think that a lot of this stems from individualization. A lot of it stems from everybody trying to be a different person or everybody trying to, make it as an individual within a world of 8 billion. And I think that each time we find ourselves being more and more similar to each other, the more we resent the other person. It's like we have an envy for anyone we somewhat can see ourselves in. But this isn't an envy of another person. We have to realize this is an envy of ourselves. You only can have the capacity for hate as much as you have within yourself. And I think love works the same way. And I think that the reason we can't appreciate our attributes in other people is because we hardly appreciate them in ourselves. We feel as if we're supposed to be super ambiguous, yet have a stark definition for who we are. But we don't allow the same for others. We want to put others in a box so we can label them and make sure we exist in a way that is somewhat different. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being different. And I don't think it's hard to be different. I just think that a lot of us take effort to alter who we are as to stand out. And my question is, what's the point of standing out? External validation is a temporary thing. People can only build you up as much as they can. And there will be a point where other people's validation won't reach where it needs to. And you'll realize that you're the one who needs to put that into yourself. It's kind of difficult to constantly gain from others and not get from yourself. If you're the person who's always going to be there with yourself, then it should be your responsibility. And I feel like part of the reason why it doesn't work to always receive external validation is because a lot of who you are is not outside. People can only see so much to validate, like your physical appearance and stuff like that. But a lot of things like that aren't a cultivated something. Like the face I have is genetically given. I didn't create it. So I don't see much of a point in feeling some type of security because of it. Like, I feel like people disregard what it means to be secure. I think we place security in things that are prone to change, or things that ultimately have nothing to do with our identity. How we look and who we are two different things. I think that people only give themselves so much credit. They associate themselves with the way they are physically, and they do this to interact in a physical social setting. And I'm coming to realize that might be more of a detriment than anything. the more we allow ourselves to be restricted by the physical, the more internally we are sparse. It's like, since we're not taking the time to acknowledge who we are internally, we're losing parts of ourselves. And in that physical worship, that external awareness, we're missing a lot of the things that we could take onto ourselves. There's no lesson to be learned if there's no student to teach. That is to say that we're not being receptive. We're not receiving from the world what we could. And I think that a lot of it stems from our own insecurity and our own envy of those around us. It's like things can't be beautiful unless I'm beautiful too. It's that ego that places yourself into things that should not. Like the thing that doesn't allow everything to be great and wants you to be the only thing that is. And I think that this is just ultimately the wrong way to go about it. I think that for anyone to exist in any type of peace and harmony with the world and find that line where they can be comfortable with who they are, they have to first accept who they are and, be okay with that and realize that anyone else is a separate something that doesn't relate to you because they are not you. And everything else outside of you isn't you. What's you is what's inside. What's you is how you react. What's you is how you think, your mindset. What's you is the things that you can control, not the things that you want to. And I think that to experience any type of true validation, people have to relinquish the value they place on the words of others. I mean, it doesn't matter how many people tell you that you're beautiful unless you can look in the mirror and think that for yourself. No confidence or no security is to be gained by constant external validation. People are going to believe what their innermost thoughts and innermost subconscious is going to. And to alter your own subconscious, you have to give that to yourself. You can't just keep listening to the same thing over and over and just expecting things to change if you're the one who's telling yourself the things that contradict it. The very premise of you seeking out validation implies that you need it. You're telling yourself that what you have is not, to your standard, good enough. That you need to go out and obtain that. You need people to tell you you're great in order to be it. But I think everybody's already great in their own way. Everything's a matter of perspective. And I think the most important one is the one you have of yourself.